Morning, Amy.
Good morning, Cody.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, excited to reverse this and get to chat with you today.
Yeah, this will be fun.
And so this is our second taping of Meet the Team. This time we're gonna talk to Amy Small, our Chief Brand Officer. We've got a few questions for you. The first one, really to get to know you. 30, 40 seconds about your bio, who you are, how you got to win-win.
All right, awesome. I might go a little longer than 30, 40 seconds.
All right.
All right, so the big backstory. My career has always been in advertising, marketing, content, brand development, and spent about 22 years in big agencies, working on the consumer side, working on the nonprofit social impact side. Also, as a college athlete, played hockey at BU.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of different interests and experiences kind of have come into what I do for a career, and it's also just kind of who I am. I'm one of those people who like identify a lot with my work, and especially the social impact piece of it. So, yeah, I really enjoy all of this stuff. Really enjoy working on sports, getting back into that, and got two kids. One of them is an athlete. The other one is very much not an athlete, and that is a-okay too. He's gonna do his thing with video games. And that's great.
Well, so it sounds like you've had some experiences that kind of led you to this moment. What's getting you excited right now about the sports and social impact space? Like, why did you decide that win-win was going to be a good fit for you?
Oh, I mean, there's so much. I feel like there's so much converging right now in culture. There is, as we were talking and the idea was sort of forming, and you were seeing all this opportunity where there's these stories that aren't just not being told. The good stuff's happening. The athletes, the teams, the league, everybody is doing, or a lot of people are doing this work, but they're not getting the recognition or the airtime or the coverage for it. And there's just life is heavy right now. And I think being able to bring more of this, of the goodness, of the upliftingness, of all the stories of just people who are taking the gifts that they're being given and, accolades that they've earned and giving back to other people in the community, it's pretty fantastic. And I think having worked in social impact for the last 8 years now or so, telling this story through a sports lens is not something that I've seen done enough. And so being able to really make those connections between what's happening in a community and the athletes and brand partnerships, thinking about pulling all those different levers and connecting the dots between all of these ecosystems to create something really special, that's what gets me really excited.
Awesome. Yeah, there's just so much opportunity. I'm excited to have you here because you're just such a great storyteller. And so it's exciting for us because we get to create together. One of the other things that you mentioned is that you're a former college hockey player at BU. Was there a moment in your childhood, or is there a moment growing up that you decided that hockey was your thing, or where did that love for the game come from that made you want to keep on playing in college?
Yeah, so I actually started playing pretty late. I grew up in South Florida. We did not get
Not a
any.
hockey place?
Well, so right, that's what you would think. We got the Florida Panthers in the NHL expansion in 93.
Okay.
And so I was 10, 11 at the time. And that was my first real exposure to hockey. My brother was a football fan and a baseball fan. Yeah, and I guess like Miami Heat. I, I kind of just fell in love with it from the first season. Was a fan for a couple of seasons, and then I was like, I want to play. And so, found a local rink. Surprisingly, there was one actually about 10 minutes from my house. Started skating lessons. Immediately was like, goal. I am a goaltender. This is my spot. And kind of went from there. There was only one girls team in the entire southern half of the state. So it was pretty competitive. I ended up playing for that my junior and senior year in high school. And what did we went to not nationals, maybe semifinals that year. And I think when we came back, one of the really cool moments was our team got invited to walk onto the ice before one of the Florida Panthers games. And
Nice.
it was very, very cool because there were also a couple of the 1998 women's Olympic hockey team gold medalists who were there. So we all brought our shirts. I got my shirt signed by Angela Ruggiero. I'm pretty sure Cami Granado was there that night too. And like, it was definitely a starstruck kind of moment.
Is this something you still have?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually at my mom's house, and I will be bringing it back. So
All right, yeah, you got to get that framed, get it hanging up behind you next to that BU pennant.
I got all the Wheaties boxes from 1998 too. Whole collection.
So, I mean, it speaks so much to just the how quickly sports has moved, right? You're talking about one girls team in all of all of Southern Florida, and
Yeah.
now women's professional hockey is definitely having a moment, and hopefully not just a moment, but is actually sustaining itself and creating business models that then trickle down to the collegiate, high school, and youth level. It's so amazing to see. And great to just hear that you were a part of kind of that initial wave of female hockey players. So as we think about, I guess some of that, where there are these moments in sports where things evolve and things get more momentum. What do you see for us at Win-Win? What do you see as that evolution or those things that you want to accomplish over the next few years here?
I mean, I think there's so many opportunities, there's the whole expansion and explosion of women's sports. That's kind of a category unto itself, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Not just with like there's a PWHL, obviously there's there's Unrivaled. But then you think about all of these other smaller leagues that are popping up. Uh, the volleyball league. You think about women's rugby. And so there's this intersection between women's sports and just new sports coming to the forefront of culture in general. And that's an opportunity I see for us to find like more hidden stories of athletes, of teams, of leagues who are just doing some incredible things. Elevate them, give them more of the spotlight that they deserve for everything that they're doing, but also create really fun, cool, meaningful brand partnerships with them too. I'm super excited about that. I mean, like you've got your big leagues and it's, there's like the sparkle, right, that comes from the big names, but I think if we can get into some of these teams that are getting woven into the fabric of their communities and tell their stories and partner with them, there's just so much cool stuff we can do.
Well, so you mentioned brand and brand partnership, and you've got so much experience doing this professionally. What do you see as the opportunity there? Where do we go as a brand? How do we elevate ourselves in this space that is really nascent right now around sports philanthropy?
Yeah, I think so. Our name, like, is just the tip of that, right? Win-win. And anytime I've been talking to anybody about what we're doing, they get it immediately. They get that, oh yeah, it's this dual-sided thing. It's a win for the team, it's a win for the community. I mean, our name could be like win, 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 win because there's so many facets to it. That's like the really exciting part with the brand partnerships and thinking about, I don't know, does our name become a verb? You're winning at something, right? I don't know what it's actually going to sound like, but it, things where if this idea of doing good through sports becomes just part of culture and what people expect, it is like this stamp that we are leaving everywhere. And that's kind of awesome. And it doesn't have to be, I think the really cool thing about it, we don't have to be the ones putting the stamp on it. It's going to evolve naturally and it's going to come from the athletes and the participants and the fans. And I think as a brand, when your fans and the people who are so invested in you take ownership of it and you just watch it bloom, that is like the ultimate brand win. And I think we're going to be able to do that because it's just people want to be involved in these kind of stories.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we've found ourselves in this space that there's so much opportunity, and I'm really excited to build this with you and to really put brand at the forefront of what we're doing, right? Like there's going to be so many great opportunities to highlight these stories and to create our own stories and to collaborate, not with just with brands, but collaborate with teams and athletes and organizations. And I'm so excited I get to do it with you because you have just so much experience doing this. And if anyone wants to, know who is behind all of the beautiful things that we've created so far, I give Amy all the credit for that. There's more to come. Obviously, we've got a lot planned. I'm so grateful just to spend a few moments with you this morning to be able to talk about this, Amy. We're going to keep on rolling these out. We've got a couple more folks. We want you to, we want our fans, our subscribers, the people that are getting behind this notion of win-win, this venture that we're building. We want to introduce a couple more folks to y'all over the next couple of weeks. We're looking forward to it.
We've got the best team, and it's such a joy to work with you, Cody, and everybody, and just bringing this to life.
All right, let's do more.
Let's do it.
All right.